All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Wakar Kadash, and the Heavenly Father. True name is Yahweh, and His unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lash Magadash tongue. And I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a sit-down lesson of the prophecy updates as of November the 30th, 2025, on this Sunday morning. And you had, this is from RT.com. It says, ex-Ukrainian army chief wants nukes. Deploying foreign weapons of mass destruction and joining NATO could serve as a security guarantee for Ukraine. Valir Zaslahi believes, if I pronounce his name right, because he was a ex-military army chief from Ukraine. And then, because we've been seeing, I would say for the past week and a half ago, almost close to 2 weeks now, we've been seeing more pushing towards the peace deal between Ukraine and Russia. Now you've been having reports that the European Union trying to have some type of proposal of peace plan of their deal, because I believe they didn't like the proposal from the United States, which they was pushing towards the Russia-Ukraine peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. So we're going to see how that plays out. But you have, but we still seeing the Russia-Ukraine, the Russia-Ukraine situation still continue to increase, despite the fact they're trying to push forth a peace deal between both sides of Russia-Ukraine from the NATO back, the United States, and from the European Union as well too. But in the meantime, we still going to see tensions only going to escalate between Russia and Ukraine. It says the European countries' leaders dropped talks with Erdogan. What's that? Saint Mark the third chapter. If a kingdom be divided, because it's up the kingdom not stand. And we seeing the kingdom be between the Edomite nations, and that's what we're seeing. It says a Hungarian prime minister warned of a political earthquake in Europe. Right, just like I back off that Saint Mark the third chapter. It says U.S. rehearsing airstrikes against Venezuela, according to the Wall Street Journal. Right, that's the signs of wars or rumors of wars. Because I believe you had the president of the United States was asking for a closure of the airspace of Venezuela, as tensions be heating up between, the cartels been sending drugs into the country of the United States, and the United States been using that campaign to continue to use airstrikes against those smugglers entering drugs into the country of North America. So we definitely been seeing, for the past 2.5 months, from August all the way to now, tensions been heating up when it comes to that. And then we've been seeing the on back and forth tensions between the president of Maduro and the president of the United States, despite the fact a couple of days ago a news article came out saying that they had some secret talks trying to ease the tensions. But now you have the president has a closure of the airspace down there in Venezuela, so we're going to see how that plays out. So that's potentially of a sign of building up of wars and rumors of wars between both sides. And this is a website from RT.com, another news article. It says, as of November 30th, 2025, it reads, it says U.S. rehearsing airstrikes against Venezuela, according to the Wall Street Journal. Trump has reportedly threatened Nicolai Maduro with regime change in a phone call. It says the U.S. has been rehearsing airstrikes and it plans to launch Venezuela's in recent weeks. It says the Wall Street Journal report on Saturday citing a defense officials and many flight tracking data. The president, Donald Trump, has accused Venezuela's government of operating narco cartels. On Saturday, announced that the country airspace will be closed to all airlines, pilots, dealers, and human traffickers. The threat came amending the buildup of the U.S. Navy forces in the Caribbean Sea under the Trump orders. More than 20 alleged drug smuggling vessels have been struck since September, according to the Wall Street Journal. Trump told Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro during his last week's secret phone call that he would consider outlasting him unless he stepped down, which I highly doubt he's going to step down. It says, while neither side has confirmed that conversation took place, it says Trump has previously denied seeking to top Maduro's by force. In August, the U.S. increased the bounty for Maduro's arrest at $50 million. On Saturday, the Venezuelan foreign minister rejected the threat against its aircraft as colonialist aggression illegal under the international law. It says Maduro has placed the army on high alert and held several drills, vows to repel on any evasion. It says the Venezuelan government has denied allegations of alleged cartels and argued that Trump is using a crackdown on drug trafficking as a pretext for a regime change. So that's that Matthew, the 24th chapter, wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That's what we're seeing. It says a Pentagon chief slams media over reports of deadly Caribbean strikes. It says West losing arm race to Russia. Right left the week Sam Strong. And then we seeing what's that Isaiah 13 verse 17. That the Heavenly Father is going to stir up the Medes against Babylon, and that's for good silver that shine the light in it. That goes into that. Turkey condemns alleged Ukrainian tax on oil tankers. It says Venezuela reacts to U.S. airspace closure threat. The Syracuse says that an attack on its airlines will constitute an act of aggression. Venezuela has rejected U.S. President Trump's threats to shut down its airspace as an illegal colonistic attack on sovereignty. Trump, who accused Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro of leading a drug cartel, intensified his warnings against the groups on Saturday to all airlines, pilots, dealers, human traffickers. Please consider the airspace above and surroundings. Venezuela is to be closed in its entirety, he wrote on his true social media platform. It says his comments came after U.S. military built up its near the Venezuela coast and strikes on alleged boats in the international waters. The Venezuelan foreign minister issued a statement condemning the colonistic threats as aiming at the underlining the sovereignty of its airspace. This typically declared declarations constitutes a hostile, unilateral, arbitrary, if I pronounce that right, and an act incompatible with the most with the most fundamental principles of international law. The statement says Trump refused to rule out operations on Venezuela's territory and hinted during the visit message to troops the strikes could soon follow. It says Maduro has denied any ties to the groups and warned Washington against starting a crazy war in the region. He previously placed the army forces on high alert and held several drills. The U.S. Aviation Administration has warned airlines of a potential hazardous situation when flying over Venezuela's cargoes has responded by suspending flights from 6 international carriers. Bring out the scriptures out. So this Venezuela, United States situation down there, Latin America. This is a building up to wars and rumors of wars. And this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 6. Yahweh Shai speaking in red letter of the Holy Scriptures. It says, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but then it's not yet. Right, so it's going to come to pass. We're not going to answer shit that Yahweh Shai mentioned. So these modern day wars and rumors of wars we see in Russia versus Ukraine, despite the fact they're pushing forth a ceasefire deal between the European Union and the Western countries, while the Russia-Ukraine situation is still going on. So till then, we still going to be seeing the increasing building up of the European Union and NATO versus Russia and Belarus, and you had the ongoing Russia-Ukraine situation that's taking place as well too. And then what's happened down there in Venezuela, the Caribbean Sea, military building up from the United States near Venezuela, down there in the Caribbean Sea. That been happening for the past couple of months as of lately. So we're going to see how that plays out. But we definitely seeing the increasing tensions or increasing height between the president of Maduro versus the president of the United States. And then you got the Venezuela's military on high alert because throughout the months they've been doing that military building up, military exercise drills as they on high alert and they on standby as they protect their island and their country and their sovereignty against the potentially of the increasing aggression against the United States. So these are signs of building up of wars and rumors of wars. It says, ye should hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet. Matthew 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, which goes into ethnos, and the kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, so we're going to see the earthquakes in diverse places, the famines and pestilence, and the earthquakes in diverse places, and the nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and the modern day wars, rumors of wars that we're seeing on a daily basis. It's the book of Luke 21.
18 says, I consider that the suffering of this present time is not worth comparing to the glory that shall be revealed in us.
Oh, you still good.
So don't let temporary pain
make you
forget eternal purpose.
You don't need to charge up. It's on 80%.
Declare, my suffering has aspirations. My suffering has aspirations. My suffering has aspirations. It can't last forever. It may be strong right now. It may be intense right now, but it won't last forever. My second point. Not only is suffering real, and not only is it not eternal, but grace